When you have situations that involve multiple categorical variables, one way that helps people visualize it is using something called a tree diagram. Let's imagine that you volunteer at an animal hospital, and here are some interesting animals. There are the dogs and some cats that come into this animal hospital. And they have multiple numbers of fur coat colors. So this dog and this cat have one color. It doesn't matter what color it is, they are one color. And this dog here is two colors, and this cat here is three colors. You want to know if there's a difference in the number of fur colors between dogs and cats. So is it dogs have mostly one color, cats have mostly two colors, or something crazy like that. You want to know if there's a difference. So to figure out what your variables are, you have to think through what are the two questions you're asking about these animals. So for one, you have two different types of animals, dogs or cats. So dogs and cats would be the types of animals. So the types of animal would be your variable or your question. The options would be dog or cat. The other one is the number of fur coat colors. You want to know how many colors are in their coat. Now, typically when we think of something with a number, we would just say that it is a quantitative variable. But when you have something with very small numbers of options, such as, well, okay, 1 would be a common number. 2, lots of animals have two colors, but beyond that, it's pretty slim. Not many dogs and cats have more than that. So let's try to lump it into a smaller number of categories. So there's 1, 2, and 3 plus as our different options for the number of colors in a coat. So because we've broken it down this way, it is now a categorical variable. Again, there's lots of situations where you have a small number of choices, and even though they are numbers, because you have such a small number of choices, it would be considered a categorical variable, or treated as such. Now, the type of animal is a little bit more of an explanatory variable. As far as if I were setting up a study, I would probably break it down that way, with the number of colors in the coat being the response. But depending on how you phrase your question and how you set up a study, there are multiple correct answers to that. Now, creating a tree diagram of these options. If you're going to do that, you're going to start with one of your variables and break down all of your different choices. So let's start with type of animal, and we have two choices. We have either dog or we have cat. And then from there, you just break down the next variable with all of those options. And you have to do it for each branch. So for the dogs, you could have dogs of 1, 2, or 3 plus coats. So let's make 3 branches here. You could have 1 coat, 2 coats, or 3 or more coats. And then same thing down here. You could have the cats with 1 coat, with 2 coats, or with 3 or more coats. And so a tree diagram doesn't have to be very complicated. It's just a simple way to break this down. And in certain cases, you might label probabilities on these, but for the things we'll be using it for right now, just a simple diagram like this will map out all the possible options you could get with 2 categorical variables.